we know they will be speaking nothing but the truth, because revolutionaries don't lie. If you lie, you'll start even manufacturing reports, this and that. And in some instances, we have had those kind of conditions where people have manufactured reports, and we have to deal with them in the Communist Party. Of course, comrades, jumping to other major sections is to deal with the question of building the Communist Party. And we are building the Communist Party in a constantly changing political and organizational environment. So the conditions are not the same. As a Marxist, as a materialistic philosopher or thinker, you must know conditions changes all the time. How therefore do you build a strong Communist Party under those conditions? We're raising few things from the organizational renewal process. One is that we must build a party from the grassroots. The people of Northwest, the Botswana, people there, they've got a slogan, SACP, meaning that it must go deep amongst the masses. SACP. Yes, that's a grassroots, mass-rooted Communist Party. So we must build a mass-rooted party. We must also strengthen the tenets of party life. There must be a difference of how people live in a community between a communist and a non-communist. Tenets of party life. You know, there's a chap that I like in this province, Kuthiwa Mthetho. Namazi Mthetho. Yeah, I like this chap. No, he's a chap, he's like this guy called Alex from HQ. They've got, I don't know whether it's multiple personalities, whether it's correct in psychology. It's not multiple sclerosis. It's personalities. They've got different major personalities. But both of them are engineers by trade. I don't know whether it's a characteristic of engineers that they become this way. Yabona Mthetho lives a very simple life, not like an engineering professional. Over the years, he used to cover all national events of the Communist Party out of his own pocket. Comrade Lechisa. Whether we have a national event in Limpopo, in Toyando, he'll travel to go and cover a party event and come back. We go to Northwest, he travels. We go to KZN, he travels. On his own. He travels. Know something. But the bottom line is that he used to do that all the time. And this was very important for us to see how this comrade has given himself to the history of the party, trying to document the history of the Communist Party, using his own resources. He could have actually spent those weekends and the resources enjoying himself with his family or with his friends, living an opulent lifestyle of some sort, but instead he decided to invest these resources into the life of the Communist Party. So I'm just saying, Comrade Mthetho, although I never told you this, but we've been appreciating what you are doing. So this is what we call building and strengthening the tenets of party life. It starts with how you live yourself as a comrade. And to have an advanced activism, good activism, and therefore elevating the centrality of the party constitution. We are also debating the question of the party constitution later on in the document. I'll jump some of the major areas. But one of the things that we are raising, for instance, is to improve or raise the bar of service to the people as a critical measurement of whether we are renewing ourselves as a party by how we service the people. And therefore, in the process of doing that, we must develop the standing task of all party cadres So a party member must not just be a member that is engaged once in a month at a branch general meeting or some other party activity organized in the area. But they must know in between that time, what will they be doing on a daily basis? How do they service the people in their communities? So service to the people should be the central pillar of party activism. Of course, at the core of the people is working class, and therefore this will increase the capacity of the working class struggle. And that we need to set basic standards and requirements for party building as well. So that when we do that, the structures that we establish of the Communist Party, we know if we come into our area and we build a party branch, once it is constituted and it follows the basic standards, that particular party branch will never collapse. Unless all of you die at once. But otherwise, it must never collapse. Because it's built upon principles and the tenets of simplicity and service to the people. Of course, in this regard, we must also have a special focus on those categories that I mentioned earlier on, the sectoral categories. And we need to intensify political education of members. Introduce even what we call the do's and don'ts of party members. You know, this thing is not, I nuanced the notion of the concept of control, which was used by old communists. This one on do's and don'ts almost come close to it, but it should not be mechanical. What we're simply saying here is that we should know for a fact that once we have reached the level of grasp of our party ideology and way of life of doing things, you will not abuse women as a party cadre. You will not be involved in crime. You will not be involved in corruption. So all these things, you will not be involved in factionalism in the organization. You'll state your views, your case, and stand your ground. So if, for instance, your branch is factionalized, or even in other sectoral organizations that you serve in, if that branch is factionalized, it will be so, but you'll